Hello friends, my name is Chandrajit Mukherjee and welcome you all to my new video which I am here to present before you. This is a continuation with the Salient Features classes and this will be the third lecture on Salient Features. A few disclaimer again, those who are new to my channel. First, these videos will be a very short videos because these videos will be published in both Instagram page which is polity.101 and also in our YouTube page, that is In Nutshell. Because of the time constraint in Instagram, so the videos will be short, will be less than 10 minutes. Second disclaimer is that those who are new to my channel, please do subscribe to the channel. It actually gives us a lot of inspiration, a lot of encouragement to make such videos. Third disclaimer is that this channel will only be restricted to Indian polity, governance and international relations. That is precisely the Union Public Service Commission's GS paper 2. Alright. So others can definitely, who are interested in constitution with respect to their rights, the government, politics, they can definitely hear these videos, they can definitely enjoy these videos and they can contribute by commenting about their thoughts. So let's start. Today's video is as I mentioned, it's the third lecture on the salient features, and the third feature that I'm going to discuss today is that the Indian Constitution is a blend of rigidity and flexibility. The last two features were the Indian Constitution is the written constitution and the lengthiest constitution. Second feature was that Indian Constitution has been borrowed, or it's a cosmopolitan constitution borrowed from various sources. The third one is the blend of rigidity and flexibility. Now let me discuss this in a very brief, crisp manner with examples. A constitution can be rigid, a constitution can be flexible, and both these things depends upon the way the constitution is amended. Now what is amendment? Amendment is a procedure through which you can make tweaks, you can make changes as per the needs, as per the demands, as per the changing aspirations of our citizens on which this constitution is going to apply. Amendments is a procedure which help us to rectify ourselves, rectify the text, to make it relevant, to sustain or to ensure the constitution's relevance. It makes our constitution a living document because it is constantly focusing, constantly thinking about the different needs and aspirations that are coming up. Say for example, when the constitution was created in 1950, when it was made applicable, applied in 1950, nobody had thought about the rights of LGBT community. But today, LGBT community, their rights is, the freedom is an essential part. Say for example, another example would be internet. Internet has become one of the important source which helps us to, it's a tool which helps us to empower ourselves. So even you can construe the right to have internet access would become a fundamental right. In fact, it has become a fundamental right after the judgments on the prolonged blockade of internet that was applied in Jammu and Kashmir. So technically what I'm trying to say is that there are various different aspirations, various different needs that has come up in the last 50 years and that are going to come up, in the coming future. So to cater all those new aspirations, new challenges, the constitution has to remain relevant, and amendment procedure helps us in a democratic manner. Why am I saying democratic? Because the procedure itself involves both the houses and there's a tough requirement of majorities. We'll be shortly discussing that, which ensures that the constitution gets amended to cater the different needs in a democratic manner. The constitution can be amended through either you will repeal, or you will add something, or you will remove something. There are many ways. Now constitution and its amendment can be done through either a rigid way or a flexible way. So if a constitution is following a rigid way of amendment, say for example the United States Constitution, the US Constitution. In US Constitution, there is a separate body is created for the purposes of amendment, which is known as the Constitutional Conventions. In India, we don't have such bodies. In US, you have to have a 3/4 majority to clear an amendment bill. In India, it is 2/3 of the present members present and voting. So you see, the 3/4 requirement, the 3/4 majority requirement makes the process difficult, makes the process tedious and rigid. You have to make a separate body for that. Whereas if you compare Indian Constitution with the UK Constitution, the Britain Constitution, there you will find that the Constitution can be amended in a way ordinary law gets amended. So in Britain, it is very much similar to amend the constitution. It is very much similar to the way they amend the ordinary laws, the ordinary legislations. So that makes the Britain constitution a very flexible constitution. When it comes to India, India believed to have a mixed characteristics of both the things, because India has certain issues which requires the state's involvement, and there are certain issues which are not so federal in nature. Meaning thereby, India wanted to synthesize these two extremes forms of amendments and incorporated the same in Indian constitution. In Indian constitution, the amendment is both flexible and rigid, and therefore it's a blend of the two. In Indian constitution, amendment can be done in two ways. Number one is the rigid way. Well, how it is rigid? It is rigid because there are certain amendments wherein the constitutional requirement is that you need to have a 2/3 majority of the present and voting in both the houses, whichever house has an initiative, doesn't matter. You have to have a 2/3 majority of present and voting, and thereafter, once you reach to that level, you'll have to send that bill to all the state legislatures rather, to get an approval from them, at least 50% of the states. So say for example, in India you have 28 states, you have to have 14 states approval. And those approval will come from their assemblies in a simple majority, present and voting. So that makes it a difficult process. But why it is so? Why it has been incorporated in Indian constitution? Because there are certain issues that requires a federal discussion or federal participation. And there are certain other fundamental areas of amendment wherein you just need to have a 2/3 majority, and that is all. So Indian constitution, and there are certain amendments also which can be done through a simple majority in India, but those amendments are not considered as amendment under Article 368. Say for example, if you consider Article 4 of the constitution, which talks about that if anyone wants to have a change in Article 2 and 3, those areas can be amended in a simple majority, through a simple majority, and those majority amendments will not be considered as an amendment under 368. So basically you have to consider Article 368, which includes both 2/3 majority and a 2/3 majority plus state ratification of 50%, depending upon the topic, depending upon the subject that we are going to amend. And you have Article 4, which talks about a simple process of amendment, wherein in fact those amendments will not be considered as amendments under Article 368. So this arrangement of various types of amendments that can be possibly done in India makes it a blend of both rigidity and flexibility. So this is how you need to understand that this feature helped us in what should I say, it helps us to create an atmosphere wherein a leader of the party is in power, who can ensure a democratically legitimate ways of amendment. So I hope this is clear right now. We will come back to the other features in the next video. Thank you so much for joining us. Namaskar.